How's it going? Let's take a look at decimal division with models regrouping part 2. So Monday we looked at part 1. Today we look at part 2. And I don't know why it always does that. Here we go. So study the following image. So what are we looking at? We have our number represented in base 10. And then the amount of groups. So our base 10 is our dividend. And the amount of groups that we have is our divisor. So remember, the dividend is what we are splitting up, what we are separating, and our divisor is how many groups we are separating it into. So on this, it looks like we're looking at 2/10 being separated into 4 groups. Whoa, okay. So 2/10 separated into 4 groups. So if we were going to do this problem, 2/10 separated into 4 groups, 2/10 would be our dividend, and 4 would be our divisor. So remember, with a problem like this, we might have to add some zeros in the algorithm. Of course, if you just look at the picture, we just regroup. But regrouping with the algorithm is pretty easy as well. So 4 goes into 2, 0 times. 4 times 0 is 0. 2 minus 0 is 2. And then remember, we can add zeros because there's a decimal point. So adding zeros does not change the value. Now we're just looking at 20 hundredths. So 4 goes into 20 5 times. 4 times 5 is 20. So our decimal point takes a ride to the top. Now, if you were thinking with the picture that 20 hundredths divided into 4 is kind of like if we had money, we're looking at 20 cents divided into 4 groups, right? So if we split this up into pennies, so if this was 2 dimes, this is 1/10 and this is 2/10. Remember, if we split this up into all the pieces, 10 pieces each, right, we have 20 hundredths. And then we can just start putting hundredths in each group until we run out of hundredths. 16, 17, 20. There we go. All right, so we have 5 hundredths in each group. This is 0. 5 hundredths in each group, just like it says in our algorithm, right? And if you had 20 cents and split it up evenly amongst 4 groups, you get 5 pennies in each group. So 20 cents divided into 4 groups is 5 cents. 20 hundredths divided into 4 groups is 5 hundredths. You have the algorithm right here, and then you have a visual representation. And remember, we split these 2/10 over here into 20 hundredths. All right, so we just took the 2/10 sticks and broke them into the 20 hundredths, and then we took the 20 hundredths and split them into the 4 groups, putting 5 hundredths in each group. 4 groups of 5 hundredths. All right, let's move on. Clear the screen and... All right, so this one looks like 12 4/10 divided into 8 groups. All right, so of course we could do the algorithm. 12 4/10 divided into 8 groups. So 12 4/10 is our dividend, and 8 is our divisor. All right, so if we did that with base 10 blocks. Oops, I'm going the wrong direction. There we go. There is 12 wholes and 4/10. So let's go ahead and take a look at the algorithm first. So don't forget DMSB. Your steps are the same. Divide, multiply, subtract, and bring down. All right. We ignore the decimal point to the end, or you could put the decimal point at the very top right now. Just make sure it takes the elevator straight to the top and keep your place value in line. When we come back, we'll solve the problem. See you then.